You are working harder than you have ever worked in your life. You're hitting your numbers, you're closing deals, you're on the phones for 10 hours a day, and you're doing everything they told you to do. And somehow, at the end of every month, you're starting from zero again. And here's the thing nobody's going to tell you. That is not a hustle problem, it's not a mindset problem, and it's definitely not a skill problem. It is a structure problem. Because there are two types of people in this world: people who earn money and people who build wealth. And the terrifying part is they can work the exact same hours, have the exact same talent, and grind the same way and end up in completely different places 10 years from now. I want to talk about what actually separates them, because once I understood this, it changed everything about how I made decisions. And I wish someone had shown me this earlier. So let me start with something that sounds simple, but most people never actually sit with. Earning is trading time for money. That is it. You show up, you perform, you get paid. You don't show up, you don't get paid, and every month is a fresh start. You're essentially just renting your income. You do not own it. The moment you stop performing with illness, burnout, just a bad month, or maybe you change teams, that income stops too. And I'm not saying that that is wrong. I did it. I was that person. I was grinding 10-hour days, dialing the phone, closing deals, following up, managing my CRM. And every month I would hit my commission check and I just feel so good about it for like 48 hours before I realized I was right back at zero, waiting for the next month to start. Wealth is different. Wealth is when the work you did yesterday is still working for you today. Wealth is when you own something, a system, a team, a process, a brand that generates value, whether you show up or not. And the gap between those two things is not talent, it's not even hard work. The gap is one decision, one shift how you see yourself in the equation. Are you the product or you own the product? Because as long as you are the product, as long as your income is directly tied to your personal output, you are earning. The second you start building something that runs through you instead of because of you, that is when you start building wealth. Now, here's what I have noticed about people who stay in earning mode their entire career. And I want you to be honest about this because I see it constantly. It is not laziness. I want to be really clear about that because most of the people I am talking about are some of the hardest working people I have ever met. Closers, setters, sales rep. These are people grinding more hours than almost anyone I know in this industry. The problem is not the work ethic. The problem is where the work ethic is pointed. There are three things I see earners do that keep them stuck. And once you see these, you cannot unsee them. The first one is optimizing the wrong thing. Earners spend all their energy getting better at the skill, which sounds right, but here's the issue. Getting better at closing does not increase your ceiling. It just means you hit your ceiling faster. You become a top performer, and then you realize the top of the performance ladder is still just a ladder someone else built. You're still on someone else's structure. The people building wealth are not optimizing the skill. They're building the structure that skill runs through. The second one is mistaking income for progress. See, when you are making good commissions every month, it feels like things are moving, and they are, but only forward, not upward. And there's a difference. Forward is revenue. Upward is equity. Upward is ownership. Upward is that thing that is still working in 5 years when you're not in the room. A lot of earners confuse a good month with momentum. Those are not the same thing. The third one is the hardest to say out loud. Earners are afraid of the transition because the transition means period where things get worse before they get better. And when you have a stable income, even one you are frustrated by, giving that up for something uncertain feels insane. It is not insane. It is the exact move. It does not feel that way when you are in it. I know that because I lived it. I want to tell you about a specific moment because I think it will land differently than me just explaining a concept. I was a closer, a good one, genuinely good. I knew how to read the room, how to move a conversation, how to close people that other reps could not close. And I had hit my ceiling, not because I was not performing. I was performing better than almost everyone around me, but the ceiling was the ceiling. There was a number on the other side of my best month and it not moved no matter how good I got. And then an opportunity came up, someone offered me a management role and I looked at it and I thought, this is a pay cut. This is less less certain. This is harder. Why would I do this? And the other offer collapsed. The thing I had been waiting for fell apart. And my teammates, people I had been, grinding next to for 4 months, and they went straight back to closing, back to the phones, back to the same ceiling. I did not go back. Not because I had a plan. I did not have a plan. I had almost nothing, but something in me understood that going back to the same structure was going to give me the same result no matter how much better I got at the skill. So I chose management with no roadmap, no guarantee. No one showed me what the next step looked like. And what happened over the next couple of years, building a team, building a process, managing a pipeline that obviously eventually hit $18 million, that is what showed me the difference between earning and building wealth. Because when you are managing a team, you are not trading your time for money anymore. You are building a system. Every hour you put into training a rep, building a framework, tightening a process, that hour pays you back every single day that system runs, even when you are not in the room. That is the shift. That is the actual difference. So let me be specific about what the people who actually build wealth do differently, because this is not abstract. They own the process, not just the performance. A closer who is great at closing is valuable, okay? A closer who understands why they close, who can break it down, teach it, build a system around it, replicate it through other people, that person is building something. Because now the skill is not locked inside one person, it is in structure that runs without them. Think about it this way. If you got hit by a bus tomorrow and could not work for 6 months, would anything you have built continue generating value? If the answer is no, you are earning, not building. That is not a judgment. It is just information. They invest their income into assets, not lifestyle. This is where I see a lot of people make the move in the wrong direction. You start making good money, real money, commission checks that, feel good. And the first instinct is to upgrade the lifestyle, get the car, the apartment, clothes. And I get it. You earned it. You worked for it. But every dollar you put into a lifestyle is a dollar that is not compounding into something that works for you. See, the people I have seen actually build wealth, and I'm talking about people who went from closer to running their own operations, almost all of them went through a period where they looked broke on the outside while they were actually building on the inside. They were investing back into the skill, the team, the system, the brand, the networking, not the appearance of success, the actual infrastructure of it. They build in public while they build in private. This one is important. The people who build wealth understand that trust is a currency. They are documenting the journey, not faking it, not performing it, not just showing people. They're building it and showing you how. Because that documentation compounds too. Every person who watches you, develops a relationship with you before they even spend a dollar with you. And when you eventually have something to offer them, right? A service, a program, a product, help, management, they're already warm. They trust you, but you need to back it up with the skill you have. So that is not a social media strategy. That is a wealth strategy. I want to be direct for a second. If you are someone who is happy earning, if you have a commission check that covers your life and you feel good about where you are, that is genuinely fine. That is legitimate choice. I am not here to tell you your life is wrong. I'm talking specifically to the person who is hitting a ceiling and knows it, who is great at what they do and feels stuck anyway, who has been told to work harder and has done that and is still in the same place, who looks at other people who seem to have figured it out at different levels and cannot quite see how they got there. That person is who this video is for. Because the answer is not work harder. The answer is build differently. The answer is stop optimizing the performance and start building structure. And the good news is, if you are in sales, if you have been on the phones, if you have the pattern recognition and the instinct that comes from actual doing the thing, you already have the foundation. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from ahead. Most people who try to build a sales operation from scratch have to learn what you already know. The playbook, the objections, the coaching, the culture, the difference between a rep who has a ceiling and a rep who just needs training. You have all of that already. The question is whether you are going to use it to build something or just keep using it to earn. See, I'm going to say something and I want you to sit with it. Difference between the people who build wealth and the people who just earn it is not what they know. It is not how hard they work. It's not even their talent. It is the moment they decide to stop being the product and start building the structure. That decision is uncomfortable. It looks like a step back from the outside. People around you will not understand it. Your income might dip before it grows, and none of that means you're doing something wrong. It just means you're doing it. And the people I know who made this move, the ones who went from closer to manager to running their own thing, almost none of them had it figured out before they started. They figured out by starting, and I was the same. You have been building your skills for years. The floor gave you something most people will never have. Now decide what you are going to build with it. I will be watching. And if you want to see what the actual transition looks like step by step, what I did and what I would do differently, that is with this video right here. Watch it next, and I'll see you on the next one.